guys, so Steven over here just picked me up from work and now we are heading over to Yal's studio. It is called Brows by Yael and it is in downtown Toronto. So before my appointment, she did send me an email telling me that I needed to have my brows exfoliated and that I wasn't supposed to be wearing any makeup, which is why I'm completely barefaced right now. Our appointment is at 1:15, so we should be there shortly. I guess we will see you again when we are at the studio. So we arrived at the location maybe 15 minutes before my scheduled appointment. From the outside, the studio was a little tucked away, so we drove past it once or twice. On the inside, however, it was a chic little studio that looked straight out of Instagram. The best way I can describe it is simply aesthetic. Once I got there, Yael had me fill out a waiver, release, and consent form, as well as just any general info about medications I might be taking and any health problems that I might have that could disrupt the tattooing process. To give a proper idea of what the brows were going to look like after the procedure, Yael drew a template for where she was planning on placing her strokes. Unlike traditional measuring, Yael explained that she liked to replicate what the finished result would look like for a client to feel more at ease. After filling in both of my eyebrows, Yael went ahead and started tweezing any stray hairs I had. It had been a minute since I tweezed my eyebrows since the email sent before my appointment specifically noted that I should keep my natural brow shape for the best results. Next, she did a final look with me sitting up so she could check for imbalances and asymmetry in the brows that she just drew. It is a template after all, and if she's going to be following it, I would much rather have the template be a little messed up and have her be able to fix it than wait until they're tattooed onto my face before she realizes that they're asymmetrical. It was finally time to start. Yael had me lay back down on the table and she began drawing small dots around the perimeter of my brows. She told me that these dots were used to tell her where to begin and end major hair strokes, kind of like a game of connect the dots. The blade came out and suddenly I felt nervous. I was a little surprised to learn that I would not be getting numbed first, but Yael explained that numbing often altered the texture of the skin due to water retention, causing the skin to become more spongy and not allowing for crisp lines. It also made the skin harder to work with, which would have forced her to press harder and go deeper with the blade when ideally we wanted to work at a very superficial level. The pain felt like slow threading, which means it definitely hurt, but it was also bearable. After a few strokes, it suddenly felt like I stuck my face in a bag full of pollen. My nose was so itchy and all I wanted to do was sneeze. It turns out it's really normal for this to happen due to all of the nerves in your face that run right under your eyebrows. The trick was to push really hard right under the septum of my nose with my finger. That alleviated some of the feeling, but it wasn't until we were no longer near the front of my eyebrows that I didn't feel like I needed to sneeze anymore. Once she started doing my other eyebrow, she put a numbing gel on the brow she just finished. The hard part was finally over. After this, all she needed to do was go back in and darken the lines and ensure that the pigment took to the skin. So the rest of the process was pretty repetitive. She would go back in and retrace the original strokes, placing more pigment into them and then place pigment all over the general brow area to really saturate the skin, which did kind of burn a little bit because one of the ingredients in the pigment was alcohol. This little routine was known as reinforcing. These cuts were a little bit deeper and did require numbing. She further explained that the deeper the cuts were, the worse the color would actually look over time, potentially even causing the pigments to look gray or milky. That's why overall, all of these cuts were superficial. The downside to that, however, is that the tattoo becomes semi-permanent instead of permanent, meaning it needed to be touched up every 1 to 4 years, depending on your skin type and your skincare routine. She also warned me that people needed to be really careful and ask about what kind of metals were being used in their pigments. Heavy metals such as iron oxide can actually oxidize under the skin, changing the color of your brows to red. So Yael just repeated the process of reinforcing a couple more times before I was all done and ready to go. Okay, so I just finished and she gave me a nice aftercare sheet where I need to wipe my face down every about hour and a half. So she wrote down the times that I need to wipe my face down. So basically all the aftercare instructions, she gave me what I was supposed to be expecting, when it's supposed to scab, when the color is supposed to change a little bit, and then just like how to care for them in general after that. It cost me a total of $521 Canadian. I tipped her $40 on top of that, and that is after the deposit. So I also deposited $200 beforehand, and they just subtracted it from the total. So I think usually it costs like $700. But I now have eyebrows, and I'm really excited. This is supposed to be darker than they're usually, and she said the color will fade a little bit over the next like 17 weeks-ish, but it shouldn't be fading much. It should maintain more or less the same color. They're just a little dark right now. I was originally gonna go for microblading and shading, but she told me I didn't need the shading, so it ended up being a little bit cheaper than it was supposed to be originally. So I guess I will see you guys again when I have to wipe down my eyebrows for a bit of the aftercare so you guys can see what the aftercare process looks like. And then the next time you see me after that will probably be a week later to see how it's healing up. Alright, so it's finally time to clean. So Yael gave me these cleaning wipes. They're already pre-soaked, so there's nothing I really need to do. I really just have to take them out and swipe my eyebrows every, I think, hour and a half is what she told me. Wiping down my freshly microbladed eyebrows did sting in the same way that putting alcohol on a cut would also burn. She never actually told me what the pads were soaked with, but I'm pretty sure they were just some sort of disinfectant. So it is now day 2 of me having my eyebrows done, and something that I didn't think about when I had them done, slash that Yael didn't tell me when I was having them done, is that I can't sleep on my face or the sides, and it sucks because I'm like a big roller and stuff when I sleep. So just having to lay on my back the whole night was a little uncomfortable, and the sleep wasn't the best, but honestly I think I'm gonna get used to it. My eyebrows are still pretty sore, to be honest. It's a bunch of little cuts on my eyebrow. I don't know how else to put it, so I'm not too surprised that they're still sore. So I'm cleaning my eyebrows yesterday every hour and a half, but today, because it's the second day, I only have to clean it 3 times. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once in the evening. It still has like a bit of pigment coming off every time I clean my eyebrows, but it's not a big deal. And it still kind of burns, but again, not a big deal. Alright, are you guys ready to see something really, really stupid? This is how I need to shower. So Yael told me that I wasn't allowed to get my eyebrows wet for a whole week, and I need to shower. So if I can't get my brows wet, this was the best solution I could come up with, because regular swimming goggles only cover my eyes and not my eyebrows, and this was the only way I could actually think of that covers like the whole area and still allows me to see what I'm doing when I take a shower. Hey guys, sorry about not having a voice. I still work at summer camp. I completely lost it. Hopefully you guys can still hear me on camera. It's gonna be 50-50. But it's day 6, and that means I can finally start using this balm over here that Yael gave me to start putting on my eyebrows. So for the last couple of days, I was supposed to let my eyebrows dry out, which I've been doing, but that also means they're flaking and they're really, really itchy. I've accidentally caught myself scratching maybe like once or twice, but they've been pretty okay because I haven't picked any scabs off. So hopefully this balm will help me make it less itchy. So Yael originally told me that with this bottle, I wasn't supposed to take like deep scoops of it, and I was just supposed to kind of like swipe my finger over it and then place it on my eyebrow. But the problem with that is that I have nails, and I even just recently cut them, but they're still too long to dig into the lotion. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a nice like chunk out anyways, and then I'm gonna put it on the side of my hand, and then kind of just like take swipes of that to put it on my eyebrow. Yeah, that's working way better. My eyebrows are super crusty right now, but they're also so itchy, so this is kind of nice, being able to lotion them a bit. I haven't been able to put any water or anything on my eyebrows, so it's literally just like nothing but natural oils. Alright, so I had the balm on. I'm supposed to use it once a day, so only in the morning. So I guess I will check back with you guys later. So it is officially day 7. So you can see how much my eyebrows are really starting to flake off. I just wanted to show you guys what the scab kind of started to look like. So here you can see that when the scab comes off, it seems like the pigment comes off with it, which might be why it says like your brows will start to look patchy after a little bit. But the aftercare note honestly just said to trust the process. So I'm just trusting the process. I'm gonna see like kind of what happens and just go with the flow, and hopefully by the end of the month when I have to go for my touch up, It looks great. I have some exciting news. It is now day 8, which means I can finally wash my hair and my face normally. Do you know how long I've been waiting to do that? My hair feels disgusting. It is so oily. It is absolutely nasty, especially since I work at a summer camp and I'm literally running outside with kids all day. And on top of that, I come back and I have like sunscreen all over my face and I can't wash it off. I gotta take like a wet towel and like just wipe it off. So to be able to have like the water run down my face and like, it's gonna be so nice. Alright guys, I am back with an update. It is now day, I think, 11 or 12 after I had my eyebrows microbladed. And as you can see, I'm wearing makeup again, so that clearly means I'm able to wash my face again, which is amazing because my face felt absolutely disgusting for the full week, or I guess 8 days that I wasn't allowed to wash my face. But now I'm allowed to, so it's all good. I've been using the special balm that Yael gave me to put on my eyebrows every single morning to help with the healing process. I no longer have scabs, so my eyebrows aren't itchy anymore. And I think like just basically all the open wounds that I got from microblading are pretty much healed up. The only thing that's left is that the pigment itself is looking a little milky, which is completely normal. Yael told me that the strokes aren't going to look as defined. They're not going to look as, I guess, nice as when I just originally got them. But that's because when the skin starts healing over, it kind of covers up the pigment a little bit, makes them look not as crisp. But then the color's supposed to come back. So realistically, I'm not going to have the finished, fully healed product until maybe like a month after I do my eyebrows, which is fine because I'm supposed to do a touch-up at the end of August, so in about a month and a week from now. So I guess the next time you see me, I'll be getting my touch-up. So I guess we'll talk again then. Okay, so I am now on my way to my touch-up appointment 3 weeks later, I believe, because it's now August 21st. A couple of the lines did disappear, so kind of like a couple of the brow strokes and the hairs that didn't stay, but she said that was perfectly normal, and that's why they always offer like a free touch-up session 3 weeks later in case there's any strokes that didn't take, so they could go over it again to make sure that all the brush strokes and hair strokes are actually there. So I'm just heading there right now. I'm not gonna really bother taping the process just because it's gonna be the exact same process as when they put it on originally, but I will show you guys the final result after, and just kind of point out where she kind of had to fill in extra spots and I think she said, because I do have a couple of questions, mainly just because my brows seem a little more feathered, like the lines aren't as crisp as they originally were when I got them. So I'm gonna ask her about that and just see what she says. Okay, so the brow touch-up went really, really well. She basically just filled in the spots that she needed to fill, which was mainly just in the front area of my eyebrows and a little bit like near the tail. But other than that, I think they look amazing. Like I'm gonna insert some before and after and then like some after touch-up photos and show you guys like what my eyebrows look before the microblading, after the microblading, like right after, and then like how they look like all healed up. Because honestly, they looked so good. Alright guys, so it has been about 2 weeks since I did my touch-up, and honestly, as you can see, like my eyebrows are perfect. Like my eyebrows are dark, you can see the individual hairs still, especially near the tail and near the front where I originally didn't have much brow to begin with. Overall, I think my microblading experience went really, really well. I don't know if it was just perfect because I happened to choose a really qualified technician who was recently actually promoted to being a master, and I was following her for years and years and years before I decided to do this whole process. So that could have been part of it, but another part of it I think was just my skin type worked with it really well. I would definitely maintain these, so I feel like every year, every 2 years I would definitely go in and have them touched up. But overall, that was my experience with my microblading. I loved it. I loved Yael. I loved how they look now and how easy my morning routine has gotten, especially with my eyelashes on now and also my eyebrows. I feel like I can just wake up in the morning and I don't need to put on any makeup and I don't need to kind of do as much to get ready in the morning, which is really, really nice to have, especially when you're a student and you just kind of got to get up and run to class sometimes. Alright, well that's everything for today's video. I hope you really liked what you saw, and I hope that my video was informative for you guys. I wanted to do my best because I know when I was looking to get my eyebrows microbladed, I was searching the internet far and wide to try to see people that had my skin type, that had good experience, that had bad experiences, why they had bad experiences, why they had good experiences. I just wanted to really be sure, because at the end of the day, it is a tattoo on your face, and it's something that you are probably going to have to live with for a really long time and spend a lot of money on. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys had all of the tools you guys needed to either go forward and have your eyebrows done yourself, or actually just choose to not have them done, because everyone kind of has different experiences, and I just really want yours to be the absolute best. So with all of that said, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know how much you like the video, what questions you still have, what questions I didn't get to answer, and what you would like to see next. If you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe to my channel. I believe the subscribe button is somewhere down over here. And I produce videos every single Wednesday, so I guess I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.
Just kind of zoom in on this one. And then we're gonna do a little zoomy zoom zoom like this. And we're gonna turn our head a little. We're gonna do the other one. And then zoom right out. You can open, give her a little smile.